So how are you all actors feeling at this time, in this crazy pandemic time that we're living in, that we're all supposed to be staying at home? How is your creativity getting hampered, and how are you keeping yourselves inspired and motivated despite the times that we're living in? I can start with Auntie
Okay,
Simi.
Please,
me.
Simi.
Okay. Well, I'm a gardener. I paint, and I hadn't painted for a very long time. So, and I like being alone. Actually, I like being at a loose end. Our lives are so busy.
Yeah.
Our lives are so full of people and happenings and emotions that this quiet time is really soulful. Like the earth is healing.
Yes.
I guess a lot of us are too. And it has given us a lot of perspective to the reality of our lives and the lives around us. So yeah, I'm missing being an actor, but I'm teaching online, and the course is very complicated and very tough because it wasn't designed to be online. It was designed to be hands-on. I'm teaching acting, improv.
Oh God.
Wow.
Teaching that online is like,
I'm in the same boat right now. I'm taking an online acting class and it's super not ideal, but if it's what we need to do for the public health, then we'll do it.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, we make the most of whatever situation it is. And yes, we know that the world will never be the same again. We have to think of the future. We have to prepare our students, if we are teachers, for a different perspective in the media, in the world at large. So yeah, a lot of things are kind of evolving and devolving.
Right, absolutely. That's a great response. Ali, what would you like to say?
I think I'm going to go after that response. I'm just no. I think what's interesting about this time is we all can discover not only things within ourselves, but I think it's an important time for. I'm going to speak specifically for actors and for creative artists at this time. I think we can take this time to get away from the rat race a little bit, because I know even as actors, it's tough. We're always caught in the thing of, oh, who's doing what, who's auditioning for what, oh, let's do this now. Oh man, I missed out on that project, you know.
Totally.
I think this is a good time to actually discover yourself and maybe a creative side of you and a doorway that you didn't know you had. You know, maybe write, maybe paint, or honestly, and I've said this before as well. I do think that even if at this time, even if you end up not creating something, or there's no pressure. I
Right,
think
exactly.
we tend to take a lot of pressure. We compare ourselves to a lot of people we see on social media. We see otherwise. I think this is a good time, as Auntie as well said, is to discover yourself and discover your strengths and work on them if you can, and work on your mental health, relax, and focus on what you can do just to get better at whatever strength you have. Just relax, take it easy, be mindful, be soulful. And I think um, there's a lot of creative things that are coming out of this time as well. I feel a lot of good writers are going to come out of this time, because it's such a sometimes out of great angst comes great creativity as well. And I think that this time is full of great angst, and I think people will are taking that. Like I watched an episode of Saturday Night Live, and it was completely. I mean, it turned the whole thing on its head because everybody had, all the people had just sent the performers had sent their footage from home. Tom Hanks was hosting it, and he had sent his own footage from his own house, and it was all edited together. And I think for the future, for a little while at least, we're gonna have to sort of find creative ways to still create content, whether it be animations, whether it be voiceover work, whether it be creating even little shows or short films. I think we can do that by clever writing and clever editing. and still being creative. So I think there's new avenues to be found in this time,
I love
and
it.
yeah, I hope we can do so.
And so, like
Yeah.
Tessa and I, our editorial meetings, they start with a dance and we end it with meditation. That's our aim. So we just kind of like, that's our way of like dealing with the situation, because we have to be positive. As I think with writers and editing, you just need this sense of clarity. I'm sure it's the same with acting as well. Ahmed, what would you like to say?
I think I'm actually pretty much the opposite of Simi in terms of when it comes to people. I love interacting with different people, and I think that for the amount of time that I spent studying, it was all soul searching and getting in touch with your emotions and your life and coming to terms with a lot of things. So, but again, like you never stop learning in this profession or any profession in that case. So I think, yeah, definitely soul searching and knowing yourself is important. But what I've started is as a mock thing, to keep my social group in touch with each other, I do these Instagram lives where I call my friends and I'll interview them. But it's just like a little mock thing, but it just to help people feel connected and to fulfill my insatiable curiosity for how different people think and how, the different psyches of people work. So I think
I think
that's
social media, that's really well said. Sorry, I'm just chiming in here because I do agree with you wholeheartedly, man. I think this is one time when social media has really come into its own and really
Yes.
come in handy. Like Instagram, these Instagram live sessions and Zoom sessions that I'm having with not only my colleagues and professional friends as well, but even my own friends,
yeah.
they're not in the field. It
Mhm.
helps you be connected and also be connected not only to the work and the art, but to be connected to people. I think it's really a good time for
Yeah, absolutely. And I
Yeah.
think
Yeah, you
yeah,
boys are both right. Actually, you are both right. And since I already have a YouTube channel, at this
Ooh. Oh
woohoo,
my God, you're so cool.
actually, I decided 6 months ago, I didn't know this was coming. 6 months ago, that I needed to do something on my own. And I preempted all this, I guess. And I have this channel. So, yeah, Mustafa, you are right. As actors, it is an inane hunger to interact and to be seen. That
yeah,
is an
yeah,
inane hunger. But then, after 40 years of having done that, sometimes people like me need to distance themselves and say,
Yeah.
okay, this is a great time. I don't have to dress up. I don't want to wear makeup. I don't want to be blow dried hair, anything.
Right.
I want to be. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So,
my name is Mustafa. My brother had logged in from my laptop. So now my name is Mustafa Agloria, but my name is Ahmed. So
oh,
yeah, it's totally my
Ahmed.
fault.
I thought it was Ahmed Mustafa. I thought it was Ahmed Mustafa.
You can call me whatever. It's fine. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
But
And I
yeah,
think,
Sorry, Ahmed.
I
Yeah.
yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Ahmed.
I definitely agree with you. I think even at my age, I sometimes need to distance myself as well. I mean, after doing these live sessions for 6 days in a row, I took 2 days off because I couldn't handle it. Because whether you realize it or not, you definitely take on other people's emotions, especially if you're an artist and you're in tune with your senses and your sensitivities are heightened. Break from it as well. But yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah.
Even at my age, I feel like I need to disconnect sometimes just to recharge myself.
Yeah. And I also think it's an amazing opportunity for people to be authentic and truly be themselves. I feel like, in a way, social media was creating this fake world, and even like acting and all of that. I think it's a lot in Pakistan where glamming up and looking pretty and looking a certain way. There's so much of pressure on women, on men to just this, to going through this ideal look of what beauty looks like, right? And now I feel like when you're at home, you just have this realization of what's really important and what's not. And I don't know if you actors feel that, at least I do. I'm like, oh, like all my wants are gone. Like, I was never materialistic, which is why I think I'm thriving at this time. But even then, like, you have this sense of perspective. There's a great word that Auntie Simi is using, and that's kind of our logo, global perspective. And so, as actors, do you guys feel that way, that, it's making you more comfortable in your skin and as to who you are these current pandemic times?
And also I have another aspect to that. A lot of reality is coming up, a lot of intellect. People are not reading scripts anymore. So if people are making a lot of sense, then that's them. If they are funny, then that's them. And if they're very boring, then that's them too.
Totally.
Agree
Like
with
the
you.
real sides are coming out, right? Who they really are. I love
Sure.
that. Ali, I think we lost you on the way. So my question
Sorry,
is
yeah,
about,
yeah, yeah.
that's no
Yes.
worries, no worries. So about like post-pandemic, how I think everyone's being more authentic to their true selves, whether they're in fashion, film, whatever, this way, this pressure of looking a certain way is not important anymore. And so I'm just wondering from an acting perspective, how are you like taking the situation?
Well, I mean, to be honest, I've always believed in sort of being yourself and looking the way you look and being the way you are. I think as an actor in general, you should be, in my view, you should always be generally physically fit, keeps your mind in check, keeps everything in check. But otherwise, yeah, I'm a father of two, and I never shy away from that. And whether you're in a banyan or whether you're in a turtleneck, it really doesn't matter. At this point, it truly is, as Simi said, it truly is at this point. I think even whether it's fans, whether it's people you care about, whether it's family, whoever it is, I think it's so important to be real at this time. And it is almost like a journey of self-discovery. Just like I think the Earth wanted a break from the humans for a little while.
Totally.
The same way, I think we need to also detach ourselves a little bit from just the physical frontal self and sort of go deep and search for something,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Tessa, what do you want to say as someone who's an aspiring actress and is also doing these acting classes online? It's like, it's unsettling. And I think you're also kind of adjusting to this new norm. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling more and more okay as the days go on. Of course, I miss that interpersonal interaction with all of my colleagues around me, but this is also giving me a time to just really connect with myself and do like relaxation exercises, method acting exercises, all of that stuff on my own in my own head. Of course, like I'm at my parents' house and they are constantly like, Tessa, do this, Tessa, do that. And I'm like, but it's okay. I don't have to pay rent here. So. Yeah.
Ahmed, anything you want to say?
I mean, yeah, I think I agree with Tessa because I think what's being offered by the school that I went to is that every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday they're offering the alumni free relaxation and sensory classes. So I definitely join into those and I'll practice that. But apart from that, I just think that I personally don't feel like I will be taking anything for granted after even when this is over because like from the smallest things like how your coffee smells to the biggest thing, the biggest blessings you have in your life, I think that's all I want to say.
Yeah.
No, Maheen, I feel that it's a generational thing also. My generation learned to take time out to relax without structured exercises or meditation or music or
Very
they
true.
just did.
Yeah.
And now because that practice seemed to skip this generation, people need to structure themselves to meditate and to relax and to just be. For me, it is so simple. I can be in a crowd full of actors on the set because that's got nothing to do with me being wise or whatever. It's just a generational thing. We could do it. It was a different time.
Absolutely.
It was a different atmosphere.
Yeah.
And for me to sit in a garden, my own little garden, and just relax without having to meditate is a meditation. So yeah,
You bring up a
generation.
brilliant point, and that's what we're trying to do. There are a couple of things that we're doing as a media company. We're normalizing conversations around mental wellness and therapy and mindfulness. And I think mindfulness is a way of life. And I keep telling Tessa also, I was like, Tessa, when I was your age, I was like chaotic. You're so much more mature than me. And so, the idea is to whatever you're doing, you're present and you're doing it to the fullest, whether you're eating food or having coffee or having this conversation. And there's no rat race or rush or this competition. Like, we believe in collaboration, and like, everyone's their unique thing, and they'll and they should celebrate that rather than make comparisons.
But
Yeah.
Maheen, what Simi has brought up a brilliant point is that I guess I'm kind of old school that way as well. Um, yeah, I think growing up in a house full of grandparents and parents and all that kind of stuff, and having that, I guess, that sort of old school wisdom and just the idea of just being, you get so used to it that it's very true. I find myself very at home and very relaxed, even in this quarantine time with the kids. And you kind of pass it on to your kids as well. That kind of mindfulness without needing to be mindful. I think that's very interesting. And I think we lost that along the way, Simiji. You're absolutely right. I think along the way, the rat race caught up with a lot of the generations, the 20 somethings and stuff. I think it really did. You had to be active on social media, you had to be active with your friends, you had to be active at work, you had to be 100% on all sort of platforms. And I think that
Yeah.
took away from being your focus.
Yeah, definitely, Alibaba. Consumerism.
Yes.
Yeah.
Consumerism, being better at displaying yourself, not
Exactly.
as a human being better at displaying yourself, whether it is in the workplace or in private or socially. We forgot that there was something inside that we needed to work on,
Yeah.
not just the visuals.
Yeah,
And I
I
feel
think.
that the attention
Sorry.
spans have become, I'm so sorry, the
Please.
attention spans have become sort of this much,
Bilkul.
whether even watching content, people just don't focus anymore after a minute. They're like, okay,
I
what?
the evolution of technology and the fact that we grew up with so much sensory overload around us, there's just so much information and we have such little time to process it. So now we kind of have to structure a time out for ourselves in order to like put our phone away or put it on airplane mode, sleeping, just to maybe get a healthy amount of sleep at night, And I think the constant need for connection and everything is just has kind of driven us mad. So
In a
I
sense, yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
like me and Tessa just exchange a smirk. I mean, America is all about consumerism. So this is such a huge curveball right now. They just don't
Yeah.
know how to adjust and react, And lots of people over here are really struggling to be mindful because, everyone's consuming news on a rapid rate. Everyone wants to be in the know, but also I think to be mindful to check out and clock out of news is important for your mental sanity at this point. And so it's like, how do you be creative in your home space with whoever you have? Like, I have a 2-year-old toddler and my husband works at Amazon at a very challenging job. And so we are trying to figure out a way where we take turns
Hmm.
and all of that. So it's like, I think relationships are also getting better. I think, you're being
Yeah.
more present as a couple or as parents and all of that. I don't know if you guys feel that way, or Tessa, if you feel more connected with your parents.
I mean, yes,
The silence was deafening, Tessa.
in a way, yes, because I've spent so much time away from them at school. But then I remembered that they kind of drive me crazy.
You know something, Tessa? I'm away from my parents. I will never take that for granted. I'm missing them every day right now. It's like
Oh yeah,
far away
when
so
I'm away
hard.
from them, I miss them so much. I miss my dog, I miss my brother in a weird way. But yeah, I miss my family all the time. And then when I'm here, I'm like, just shut up, just shut up, just shut up. But it's fine because
I hope my kids will say that about me someday.
yeah, they probably will. But
They will.
yeah, I don't take my parents for granted because they've been my solid supporters throughout my 21 years of life, and they're my one people. So
Yeah, but looking at the media and looking at the future of the media, at least in Pakistan. Ali, I don't know what's happening in Canada, and Ahmed, I don't know what's happening where you are, but situation in Pakistan for actors, especially actors who are not, let's just say leading actors, is very bleak, is very grim, because they earn a daily wage. Their survival depends on a daily wage. And I don't really know what's going to happen to the industry itself and individuals who, as it is, do not earn a hell of a lot of money. So I'm actually very worried about people in the industry who work as technical hands and as the industry's support system. I really don't know what's going to happen, because it's already been almost 2.5 months. So I don't see it getting better in the next 3-4 months. So I don't know what the survival tactics are going to be.
Wow, that's such an interesting perspective. Ali, how are things in Toronto?
Well, honestly, not very good. I mean, in the sense that I know a lot of people here as well are worried about their jobs, whether they're artists or whether they're even in business or entrepreneurs or whoever they may be, because it has affected all of us. It's affected the world. And I think because of things slowing down so much, it's true. I think the daily wage workers and the people that, there are people that don't have enough to eat. Sustenance for a little while is going to be tough. But I think the Canadian government is offering some subsidies, and they're offering, to sort of, give a certain amount to people that are not earning right now. That's at least good. Is that what's happening in the States or not yet?
Not exactly. So everyone who pays taxes is registered with the IRS. They all got up to $1,200. There's like a bunch of differences and like regulations and stuff like that, but we got a $1,200 stimulus check, and that's really all we're getting. I don't know if this is true or not, but I heard that the Canadian government is giving people like monthly payments of a good amount of money. Is that true?
That is true. That's what I was saying. That's what the government has started doing now. You can apply for it, and I think they check your records, and if you're eligible, then definitely you're getting sort of a monthly stipend almost.
Yeah. Yeah. See, here we're just getting one payment, and that's it.
Ahmed, do you want to say something? So, Auntie Simi, Ahmed's in Karachi as well.
Yes.
Okay, Ahmed, you have a very good picture of what's happening in Karachi. My son is in Karachi, and he's a working actor. Well, he's not a working actor anymore.
As of right now.
Yeah.
Just to go off of what you kind of said earlier about the daily wage, and I think that's true for anyone who is, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, for anyone who's not an established actor. I feel like for the last year, the Pakistani industry and in general our economy has been heading towards recession or in recession, and then because of that, the projects are being offered to names that are bankable, and that's perfectly understandable. And now
it's not. No, it's not. No, Ahmed, don't be kind. It's not. It's not understandable. A good actor is a good actor. Our industry has serious issues. I can spend the next 5 hours talking about that, and I'm quite vocal about it. But the point remains, every actor, whether senior or junior, all of them are daily wage workers.
Yeah.
Only the chosen few who make enough to tide over are okay.
Yeah.
The rest, yeah.
So interestingly enough, I think before the lockdown happened, I was actually supposed to attend Toronto Film School, and I was planning on studying film production over there. And there was some discrepancy with my wire transfer, and my visa got rejected. And then immediately after that, coronavirus broke out. So I think it was a blessing in disguise, definitely. But I think that after assessing the situation for the last year over here, I feel like the options are very limited. And like Simi said, I was trying to be diplomatic and not offend anyone by understating the problems in the Pakistani industry. But yeah, I'm really looking for a way out, because I don't think I can make a living out of this, or just
I really appreciate your honesty, Ahmed. I'm so proud of
Yeah,
you
man.
right now for just saying things as is. Thank you for that.
of course. I mean, yeah, for sure.
That's absolutely accurate, man. And honestly, there's no need to mince any words with Simi and me. We've seen
None.
this through for years, and we've been
Yeah.
unfortunately victims of it as well. And you know what? You'd be surprised as to how many people have. You know, we've been working for so many years, and there's
Yeah.
times when we've all been victim to it, man. In the sense of, no matter how good your work is, sometimes you get overlooked for someone that's got more followers, or as you say, more bankable, or whatever it is, or
Yeah.
fairer, or lighter eyes. I don't know. Things like that. And CMG can attest to the same. I'm 100% sure as well.
Yep.
But the way is, if you really, Henna CMG, absolutely. And I think,
Absolutely, Ali. Baba, I agree with you.
and the thing is, I think at the end of the day, Ahmed, is if you really do love this, um, you got to stick with it, and your time will come, man. And I would say, yeah, if you really feel like you need to leave for now, take a break, come to Toronto, wherever you want to go to film school, definitely learn things behind the camera. That really helped me, and helped me becoming a better artist and a better actor as well, to learn things behind the camera. And I direct and produce as well, and it gives you more avenues, gives you more creative sort of openness. So I would recommend that you do that. But if you really do love this job, don't lose heart. I know it's tough, and I know that but this exists in a lot of places as well. It exists in Bollywood, it exists in Hollywood as well. This kind of bankable situation. So you got to keep your wits about you. Be strong. Don't worry. I know. It's terrible. Trust me. We've cried over it. We've discussed it for years, and it's a strange combination in this business of hard work, luck, and timing in a strange way.
Hopefully you'll get into a bigger voice. But yeah, this is going to go on to our YouTube channel. And anything you guys want to share about your projects, go ahead. I can start with Auntie Simi.
Well, yeah, please watch my Naughty Nani channel, which is doing pretty well, actually.
Cute. That name is so cute.
And I talk about everything currently which is happening, but try and add humor to it. And it's a character that comes up with whatever. So that's something. And I'm doing a play which is on air called Sabat. So those are my only two new things that are currently happening. Aage pata nahi kya hoga, I don't know.
And also, Auntie Simi, I wanted Maheen to join in the calls as well. I would love to, talk about her being a chef and being an actress. Huge fan of hers from Zindagi Gulzare. So, if she's interested, more than happy to have her on as well.
Maheen, a slight problem there. Maheen goes to bed at 8 o'clock with her kids.
Oh my gosh, we'll adjust to her time. We'll totally adjust. I'm a mom. I get it. I have a 2-year-old.
Yeah. And Ajkal, she has no domestic help at all.
I know, this is pretty tough.
She has to wash, clean, cook, babysit, teach, do everything. So it's driving her quite insane.
I bet. I'm on the same
I
boat.
live in Toronto, CMG. I live in Toronto, CMG. I am the domestic help.
Yeah. Well, you see, when you get used to spoiled, then it's hard to come back and,
Yeah, so just as background, Tessa, so in Pakistani cultures, domestic help is a huge thing. And so, like even so I've been living in America for 7 years now, but I was really used to getting pampered, had my bed made, cooked food, a driver who drive us around. So we lived like queens. And so when we came to America, and I'm sure Ali Kazmi, for him, it's the same when he came to Toronto, it's like, what? We have to do our own chores? What does that mean?
Yeah, but I don't think there's any people who are more of cultural chameleons than Pakistanis, I feel, because we can really adapt really quickly. Like when
True, I agree.
I went to LA, I had no problems adjusting. And then
Yeah.
I came, no problems readjusting. I mean, obviously. So I think we're very good at adapting as a nation. And I guess that comes with a lot of trouble and troubling times that we've seen, maybe. I
I
don't
do
know.
agree. I think there's one thing, Tessa, I'm sorry, I'll translate for you, but it means there's a thing called jugaad.
Jugaad.
Okay, Ali.
Uh,
Have a good time translating it. Please translate.
right? I know. So Tessa, there's no real translation for it in that sense, but jugaad means sort of an adaptiveness and sort of a will to find a way where there is no way. Like it's like, if there's something wrong with your phone, like you can leave it up to a Pakistani to find a way to fix it when everybody tells you there's no way to fix it.
Shortcuts, basically.
I love the
There's just like,
tenacity.
yeah, there's like, and it works for everything, whether it's food, whether it's, art, whether it's technology, it works for everything. Even, in fact, there's a doctor in the States who I call like Jugaad number one. He's a brilliant guy. He's a brilliant guy. He got like, like the whole street in America was like applauding him and stuff because he came up with this idea for having 7 connections to one ventilator.
That's
Wow,
brilliant.
that's
Oh, Tessa, we should
amazing.
know this
Seriously.
story.
Now
Wow,
you see that comes from Jugaad.
I love
Jugaad.
it.
Sugar, I love this word.
Yeah.
It's
You
called
know?
being creative.
I like that you're making it very cool, Auntie Simi.
I swear it can be. It can be.
But the billionaire Shahid Khan in America,
Yeah, yeah.
you know what he did, right? He took a two-piece bumper and he was like, all right, you know what? We can make this in one piece. So why not just save the cost? I'll make more money and let's just do it. Since then, he has literally completely transformed the industry.
Necessity is the mother of invention, and Pakistani
Yeah,
Jugaad can
bread
invent
is-
anything.
Yeah.
Bread is the mother of an engine. Bread.
Very well said. I love that. And also, I think people in Pakistan are having a good dry run of what American life is all about. Because you clean, you
Yeah.
cook, you do everything on your own, and there's no shame. No shame.
There's a lot of my guy friends. So in my house growing up, luckily, all the men were really proactive, including my grandfather, my uncle, my father. My father used to wake us up for school. My mom and my grandmother don't cook. My father and my grandfather cook always growing up. So it wasn't alien to me, luckily. So I was taught the ways of the handyman and all that stuff growing up, which is a great thing when I came here. But I know right now, so many of my friends that are in their 30s, 40s, and so used to, the king lifestyle in Pakistan.
Yes.
They're all like, now they're posting statuses and saying, man, we really respect our wives and our mothers, and like now we're sort of getting a dry run of like helping around the house and this and that, and like salute to them. So what I say to them is, listen, don't just salute them, actually get in there and help, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ali, you're
Actually,
bringing a brilliant point, and I think empathy is something that's coming out of this, where you're empathizing not just with war-ridden nations on a political level, but rather on domestic help. Like, how is a stay-at-home mom also working, taking care of the child? Like, this is like the third day in, my husband was like, how do you do it? I'm like, thank you. I don't brag about it, but thanks. And he's just like, he's really understood, and now he's got this love of being in the kitchen and baking and cooking. I don't know if it's a disaster or not, but he's just getting into all these things, and he's like, oh wow, you do this also, you do that also. I was like, yes. And so I feel like when you see things, they're more real to you. And so I think it's come like into two things. One is a very horrible thing where domestic violence has gone up, and WHO is recording number of cases, and it's terrible.
True.
It's awful because when you're stuck with somebody who's either an emotional abuser or physical abuser or a sexual abuser, you're stuck. And right, so we are finding out ways and like stories ahead how we help people like that with our media company. But then there are also good stories and inspiring stories where husbands are actually finding newfound respect for their wives as working moms or as someone who cooks or cleans and all of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, my son, aspiring actor, and Ahmed, you would probably know about him. He's also struggling, and he has been struggling for a very long time. He's also thinking he needs to have another kind of job. But during this time, he's always cooked. He was one of those guys who loves a good breakfast. So he was brilliant at making good breakfast. And now he's taken up a hobby, which I think is genetic. He gardens. He's become a Mali.
I love it.
Okay. I mean, yeah, I all I can make is boiled eggs, so I'm not proud
He'll get there.
Rat. He's a
He'll get
spoiled
there.
rat.
for sure. Yeah.
Look, man, slow and steady wins the race. Let me tell you. Okay, when I moved here, I couldn't cook either, and I still can't cook that great or anything. But at least my sons eat my food; they have no choice.
I love it. Maheen, would you like to talk about your latest projects? I just realized I didn't ask you.
Who, me?
Yeah.
I'm doing absolutely nothing. No, I'm kidding. Besides learning 6 languages and guitar and the piano and doing yoga every day.
Wow.
No.
Look at
I'm
you.
That's,
I love it.
wow.
I'm absolutely joking. No. I luckily I had just I had finished a movie in Sri Lanka with Deepa Mehta.
Amazing.
It's her latest film, and we shot that in October and November. So luckily we finished that in good time. And then the other film which I was on is a Pakistani film called Ishrat, made in China, and I got
Wow.
done with
Their
that.
story. Yeah.
Yeah, can you imagine? I got done with that. The whole cast, like
My
half the
gosh.
cast, got
God
stuck
save
there.
Delhi.
'Cause I got back on 18th March from that production.
Whew. Now that's a story, Tessa.
Oh my
Literally,
gosh.
I got back on 18th March, and it was it was a fluke because I told them, I was like, listen, guys, like it's not looking good,
Yeah.
but they're like, no, it'll be fine, like like as Pakistani, we tend to take things a little bit easier than our Western counterparts. So it was like it'll be fine, it'll be no problem. And luckily, I had my return ticket already booked for 18th March. So I was there for 2 weeks in Thailand, and we did the filming and everything, and it went great. We had some superb shooting, and it was very smooth. It was very safe there, and we had like an ambulance on set and temperature checks, and the works. So it was really safe, really good. 18th March, I left, and I told these guys, I was like, listen, man, please be careful. They're closing borders. Canada's closing their borders. Internationally, they're going to be closing borders. You guys got to leave. But they had like a few days of shooting still left. And me and Mani and Mustafa Chaudhry and Hassan Shahryar Yassin, we left on 18th March. I came to Canada. These guys went to Pakistan. And right after that, they started closing flights, and half my team, 21 people, got stuck in Thailand.
Wow. That's crazy.
And they just got back. In fact, they're still not home yet. They had
Yeah.
No,
they
that's not
just
home yet.
on the 14th. On the 14th, they flew to. On the 14th of April, they had to stay there an extra month. On the 14th of April, they got back to Islamabad, and now they still have to get back home to Karachi, which is another ordeal.
Right.
So I wish them the best. It's crazy. So I mean, I think the world over, people are. I think we didn't realize the extent of it, but here we are.
Right.
Stuck
You're
together.
also working on a project with Marine Jabbar right now? Or is it already done? We saw something on Marine's website.
Me? No, not yet. No.
Okay.
Not working. I think Maheen is working on some great ideas and some scripts. So hopefully, I hope that we can work together again. It's been a while.
And one thing that you touched on, Ali, and I wanted to talk a little more about that, it's just this adjustment with like, so we operate in a very American style of like work, and it's like zero BS, work is work, that work ethics is important. And so I don't know if you felt this, because now the more and more you live in Toronto, or the more and more we live in Seattle, like for instance, as Pakistanis, we learn that working style. And so like I find a lot of trouble because I feel like music industry, acting industry, heavily politicized. People also have huge egos, right? And so, and almost taking like, oh, we're very big. And so, you know, it's okay if we ignore emails, or it's okay if we don't. So we're trying to adjust to that. And I'm sure you face that as well. People with power trips. And we're just trying to find a way to work with those people and be cordial, but still kind of push back when we can. And it's been hard. Like I used to be in PR. So like, I think I'm still getting better at it. I want to teach Tessa my learnings too. So I'm just wondering how you dealt with that. And Simi Auntie can also chime in later.
Well, look, I mean, I grew up in Pakistan, and I grew up with truly artist parents that didn't do this for the money or anything. So my teachings were always different. Simi ji is one of my mentors. I think she is totally on the same. Obviously, I've learned from them. You know, we grew up totally differently in that sense. So moving to Canada, for me, it wasn't a big adjustment. We always knew that answering people back. I mean, I'm sure that there was a time in my 20s that I was never arrogant, but I think when you live in Pakistan, you get used to like kind of being, oh, I'll answer tomorrow. So a lot of people that are not even arrogant are just like, there's a bit of a procrastination situation. Pakistan has a lot of raw talent, has a lot of good work coming out of it, but efficiency and sort of task handling is a bit of an issue. And we still face that in terms of payments from Pakistan, or in terms of people answering back in a timely manner. I think that's something that as competition grows and as things grow and become as it's becoming more and more of a business, I think people are realizing it a little better now, a little bit, but I think there's still a lot of issues happening which we need to fix. And I think I'm going to end this by saying that what we need more of is more education for the arts and more institutes for filmmakers and for each specific job. I think that's the issue, that people are just coming in from experience. Like a cameraman is just coming because he learned it from a senior cameraman, or a grip is just coming in because he learned it from a senior grip, or a lighting person is just there because he just learned it on the fly. And actors are coming out the same way, and a lot of directors and producers are coming out the same way. It ends up with being a lot of good raw talent, but I think what we need to have that kind of respect is that over here, let's say in the West, a lot of times, whether you're in PR, whether you're in marketing, or whether you're in film and acting, on a set, every single person, even the guy that's coming at 6 in the morning and just putting in the light, the light cord, is actually a filmmaker. Like he's actually been to film school and he's understood the respect for the whole job. You know,
absolutely.
I think that's a big part
here as well. And I think, Ali, you bring a brilliant point, is that no matter who you are, right, whether you could be a CEO of a company, but you have to do the admin tasks and you have to do the high level stuff.
Exactly.
And you should do all of it, and you should be okay with all of that. And I feel like in Pakistan, it's hard to kind of understand that, like there's a lot of shame associated to certain parts of a job or a task. And I'm just trying to understand why. Auntie
like
Simi,
I'll tell you a simple sorry, I'm so sorry to cut you. I just meant, I have a little quick example about that, is that I think the good part is that in the West, people are used to walking, people are used to sort of like in Toronto, I'll say, like whether you're the CEO of a company, big, small, whatever, you'll still take the TDC as the public transport. I don't own a car over here, and I'm proud of it. I'm actually,
totally.
Decreasing my carbon footprint. I'm healthier. I would teach my kids that as well. And when I go to Pakistan, I have my old car, one of the first few cars that I bought with my first paycheck, and it's like literally ancient. It's like from the early 2000s, the Hyundai Santro. Okay, small little car, and I still drive it to set and stuff. And I know one of the spot boys on set, when he was dropping me out with the suitcase, and I insist to carry my own stuff as well. I try to, even in Pakistan, I try to live by the same rules. And I try to carry my own things to the car, but some of the spot boys are like, no, Ali bhai, you can't do that. It's my job. So, okay.
Yeah.
And while carrying my stuff to the car, he's like, Ali bhai, I'm going to say one thing to you, don't mind. Why do you still drive this car? You're a star. Like people are going to think, you're like, you're nothing. You're just a poor guy, And I was like, let me ask you something, my brother. Tell me something. Uh, Me driving a bigger car, would you like me anymore? Do you like me now? He's like, Ali bhai, I love you. You're a good guy. I was like, thank you, brother. That's what matters more to me. If I drive a big car, small car, doesn't make me any better person or a better actor. It doesn't. So let's let go of that. So I think if it's a bit of a subcontinent issue, I think if we kind
Yes.
of let go of that, I think we'll be free and we'll be so much better for it and focus more on what matters rather than
And
big
Ali, I
cars
got
and
my
money.
learnings when I interviewed Rosalie Miller and Joe Ardinger, and they're these filmmakers and producers, directors, brilliant women out of Seattle, and their short documentary Personhood, made it to Doc NYC, and they won a lot of awards right now. And it was a very powerful movie about reproductive rights of women. And Auntie Simi, I'd love to talk about it more with you later on. And so they talked about, as women, being cameramen, being, doing the small little things and doing it with such love and passion, and not saying that, oh, you should do this or that person should do that or that person is, it's a very condescending thing that I see, which over here I don't see in filmmakers. And you're totally right. I echo that sentiment. And Auntie Simi, what would you like to say about that?
Well, Ali is right. It's a subcontinent thing. And it's a subcontinent thing for many reasons. One, education. Again, Ali is right. We as people, as actors, as artists, we don't take the art profession professionally. Artists always have had this mythical thing about them, that artists are poor, artists don't earn a lot of money, artists live in la la land, artists are people who don't care, who are bohemians, who don't care about the realities of life. They are artists. So we are a little confused here. Are we artists or are we business people? So right now we are, as an industry, evolving. And because of education, we don't understand the dynamics of professionalism. When I started as an actor, I was 16. And I remember years down the road, people used to ask me, what is this that you do? I mean, why are you an actor? Those are people who are so different than you are. So, one day I got very fed up of all this. And I said, all right, they don't speak English, but they know Baba Bulle Shah, who is a saint, who is a poet, and who writes in Punjabi, and they understand Baba Bulle Shah. I understand Shakespeare, but we both understand poets. So it's just a question of language.
Beautiful.
It's just a question of language. So general public does not have the clarity as yet. Even now, they do not have a clarity about artists and actors and professionalism. All these things have merged into one. They are not just bohemian artists. They need food to survive. They need to bring up their children. And Ali said something very interesting in the beginning. And I used to be asked that. Numan Ijaz used to be asked that. Oh, so you're an actor, but what do you do?
Yeah.
Excuse me, I'm an actor, but you had to have a day job. But now you don't.
Right.
Now the dynamics have changed. So it'll take time. And then there are a lot of young boys and girls who are coming out of colleges. Well, I teach a few of them. And when they come into the mainstream, they will bring that professionalism, that oomph that is needed.
Yeah.
Abhi tak, we have just had people who have learnt craft from their ancestors, maybe their teachers, but they have not learnt the whole package. For instance, if I teach my student to be a good actor, well, I teach them the dynamics of voice and movement and understanding it. But I teach them, which our part of the world you have to teach hygiene,
Yeah.
being punctual, being respectful, standing up when an elder actor enters a room. So many things, so many little things that are the big things, which might come automatically to other industries, but do not come automatically to ours. So,
Absolutely.
yeah,
That's a really good point. Tessa, what would you like to say from a Seattle's perspective about all of this?
I think it's really similar. I think that it's really a case of acting. It's just a universal language. Art is a universal language, and that's why I love it so much, because everyone can understand it. No matter what language you speak, where you come from, where your ideals are, everyone understands it. And they all have their different interpretations, which makes it even better because you can look at it in different ways and it's just subjective.
Absolutely. Emma, do you want to say anything?
I think I've definitely noticed that education is definitely a a defining factor when it comes to any field, even art. Because, like, I'll give you an example. I went to a big agency over here, a casting agency, and I went there, and the guy asked me, so, karte kya ho? He basically meant, what do you do? And I went like, oh, I just studied acting. And he's like, is that even something you study? That really gave me a sort of instant look into the general thinking, where I think more than anything, discipline is lacking.
Yeah.
And I think acting or music or anything requires as much discipline as any other profession, and if not more, because it's us putting our emotions and a part of us out there to be so openly judged.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for all of your time. If there are any afterthoughts you all want to add, that'd be great. I just wanted to also say that we are populating our film beat. And so everything that we've covered from here, there'll be like potential quotes for our stories. And the next steps are we'll be reaching out to each of you separately for images and pictures for our magazine. And I'm so honored to have such a brilliant panel. You all are brilliant, and you inspired me and Tessa to keep doing what we're doing and keep making art, keep making films, keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, thank you all so much. Your comments and stories were really insightful, and they give me hope because, naturally I self-doubt myself as an actor. Like, am I going to be able to, make this a profession where I can be comfortable? I don't want to be rich. I just want to be like worry-free about, my life. And I still love it. So thank you so much for all of your insight. It's really meaningful to me.
And we're going to take a picture if everyone can smile and smiling. Ready? All right. Thanks all. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Alibaba. I have missed you. I missed you.
I missed you, Tia, very much. I hope that once this madness is over, we can all, get together and
Soon.
It was a pleasure meeting
hang out 6 feet apart.
Emma, it was a pleasure. It was a pleasure, beta. Mother, thank
so
you.
much, Auntie
Thank you
Simi.
so much.
Thank you so much
It
for
really
your
was.
time.
Thank you all very much. It was
Thank
amazing
you.
hearing all the different perspectives, and thank you for giving me a reason to put on a shirt today.
Yeah. And we got messed up. Me and Tessa had makeup on. We're like, we finally get to glam. Let's do this.
Yeah. I've been in my pajamas all day.
It was like 8 in the morning. We're like doing our makeup, and I was like, "What's going on? Where are you heading?"
It was great. See, this is really important, man. That's why I think sessions like this are really important, and especially for not only for I find even business people are kind of using this as a time to like have video calls instead of just audio calls, because it's kind of nice to connect with people, especially for creative artists and people in marketing and people in PR or these kind of creative fields. We need to connect. And this is lovely. Thank you.
And so what I'm trying to do is getting people from Seattle, New York, Boston, Barcelona, random places, and having discussions, group discussions just like this, and then being strategic of connecting who to who. Like, knowing more commonalities now that we know you have the projects that you're working in. So having Zoom calls where I think, for instance, Ali, you're a good fit to meet a certain person based on your artistry. So that's my aim of this. So it may seem a little chaotic right now, but there's going to be more structure as we go ahead.
There's always a method to the madness. Always.
Yes.
Exactly.
That's correct. Absolutely. You said it. All right. Bye, guys. Have an amazing
Bye.
day or
Thank you
night
so
wherever
much.
you are.
Take care, everyone. Stay safe.
Thanks.
You too. Thank you so much.